Hey Gemini, this is your Tarot Sportscast for April 2021. This is a place where we ask the question, what sport? And of course, the answer is the game of life, right? And we are in it to win it. I'm sure you agree. The starting bell has already rung, so why don't we go grab our seats and enjoy the show? Okay, Young, let's get going with your line. Well, Gemini, the twins, right? How about twin pages to begin your world? Page of coins, pentacles, page of wands. Fire, earth. So, is there a question perhaps in this game of life we're involved with that has been kind of following you around like a puppy dog and constantly trying to ask, well, who and what am I? And so your challenge is to come to terms with that. And that is the game. So strategies, right? Is it going to be a frontal attack? Is it going to be something that is a bait and switch? Perhaps you've seen yourself in your fiery self as that's who I am. Well, I guess your air can blow into that fire and to create more flames, make the environment hotter around you. But then comes along another part, some member of the opposing team that wants to say, well, I don't think you're fire at all. I think you're earth. What do you do with it? It's like a prescription from the doctor, right? Take 2 of these every 4 hours. Well, take the fool. Come to terms with the fact that nothing is that important. No consideration, no identification, no attachments are that important. None. And in fact, perhaps the true part of you is the fool. And we are talking about another air sign influence here. And maybe your message and the way to win this game is to totally take on a new identity, to use April as a springboard for walking into who you don't think you are, who you don't think you've been, and be that. Be something entirely new and unplanned and unimagined yet. But these guys look like they're not going to get along in terms of they're part of you, sure, but they're not the ultimate part. I think the ultimate part is the free-floating nature of the fool. I mean, think of yourself as the wild card. Think of yourself as the joker in a deck of cards. And joker's wild, right? In a game. And what does that mean? It means that the joker can be anything at any time, any other card. That's strong stuff. And Gemini, I think that that's right down your alley. I'm getting the sense that that's something you could dig your teeth into and something you could be excited about. Young, have at it. You got it. Yin? Your world is looking somewhat ponderous, but I think the aftermath of the present scenario is going to be in the sunlight. That's what wants to stick out. Sure, the wheel can turn, the wheel of fortune can turn. You can transform and transmute. You can carry the bundle a little bit further, but with the intention of putting it down. You're bringing it home, and why not take that bundle and use it when you get home, cut it up, saw the logs into boards, and make something out of it. I think a Gemini nature is the kind of energy that definitely wants to do exciting, innovative things like that. So that doesn't say much about your situation. It more is like the overtone of where are you going? And I would say that nature is where you're going. Like we said at the beginning, go out and allow the Yongchan points on the bottom of your feet to rest on the earth and let the energy of the earth feed up through your ankles, through your knees, and up into the rest of your body. And within that flow of energy up through yourself and your chakras, what you get is an answer. You get the answer of, what is this? What does this mean? Because you haven't been there yet. It's something that you're just getting the nod from the universe going, yep, the sun smiles on your efforts. And it doesn't look like it's a person or people in your life. It looks like it's something in your life that's been a burden. Now, the question is, have you been burdening yourself? Or have you been burdened by external influences? Because both things, the outcome of those, of going through to the end game of those processes, is something that causes you to grow. And I don't want this to sound morose. It's not. It's not by any means. I mean, if you're out try and go out on a sunny day into a forest that's filled with singing birds, and you're around blossoming rhododendron bushes, etc., and be bummed out. Try and be simultaneously infused with that energy of nature that's around you and be bummed out at the same time. I don't think it's possible. It could be. But it's like not let this get you down. How about looking at this as a happy time? The turning of the wheel. It turns for you. It doesn't turn just ambivalent out there someplace. It turns for you. And how about looking at this in the light of the sun? You end up looking at it as a desired celebratory ending to something that was all about you. It was always you. Let's talk about what is the weather report, let's say, for the atmosphere in the stadium where you're playing out this type of etherical stuff. I mean, Gemini, this reading looks like for you that there's a lot of things behind the scenes for you these days. And I'm not trying to say they're heavy, but I think that they're enough to cause you pause. And if you've paused, then let's see what the atmosphere is in which you can operate and achieve and finalize, right? The situation itself is down to brass tacks with the devil. Go to the place where you've hit the bottom. You've gone to the ground floor of your soul, of your life, of your experience and your nature. You're there by choice. You made the agreement. You intuited that was in store for you because you grew. You grew to the point where this is the next step, not a step you jump over and go around. That's what this keeps you from doing. It keeps you from trying to go around or skip steps. How does it do that? It shows you truth. It shows you the shadow side so you can marry that with the light side, and within that is truth, but not just any truth, your truth. An obstacle of strength. Well, note here that the lad on the card is holding up a beating stick and about to beat on the lion. So, in the Renaissance days when this deck came out, perhaps there was this thought in spiritual society that one needed to beat down their animal nature. And we aren't like that anymore. Humanity and the human race has evolved just like everything else. And we're now at the beginnings of the age of Aquarius. So the obstacle here being strength. And we know that from other decks and from the continued study of the self and through the tarot for centuries now, we know that the consideration for strength is benevolent, and it implies your personal evolution and your personal strength of a certain kind, but it also implies your evolution into the understanding and balancing in yourself of your animal nature. So let's just call this what I say now. Listen, for the moment, it doesn't have to be like this forever, but as an obstacle in this particular reading, I think the idea is to refrain from the kinds of moves, like in a game, you can make aggressive moves, and aggressive moves at some points are essential and desired. And at other times, they're absolutely going to be the wrong thing to do. And in this case, I think the idea here is to keep in check the animal nature that is within all of us, but in yourself, keep it in its place. And that doesn't mean beating it, but it also doesn't mean letting it take over. Meaning, ultimately, out of all that, those are like steps along the way. What is at the equal sign? What's at the solution area? The winner circle is the gleaning from doing it that way to keep it in check, to keep it in its proper place, it revealing what it really is to you. And by revealing that, it reveals answers and pathways that take you into your future. Your asset is that, speaking about taking you into your future, the card in your corner is judgment. And so it's a pretty amazing process sequence here. Sequence. You start out by eliminating false truths from your life. You continue by being able to see the long game and being able to hold in check the balance of animal and celestial. And what does that evoke? A birth. The birth of a new you that's situated somewhere between the 7th chakra and the 4th. It's cool stuff. And this reading, by the way, I just got the strong sense this reading is not for everyone. It's for somebody who can see through all the authoritarian and dominating influences that the old world has put in our life. And somebody who rather takes everything with equanimity, meaning equal feeling. And so then you can accept things that on the surface might seem like a slap on the hand. And you turn them into, just a practical next step. So through that lens, and for those that this will resonate the most with, the potential outcome is you getting blown out of your ivory tower by the higher power that is the wind in the flute. Consider the tower to be a flute placed vertically, so sound comes out the upper end, and the higher power blows through the flute and blows you right out of a world of illusion that while it served you, it was fine. You could be in your ivory tower all you want. And then when it doesn't serve you anymore, boom, you go blowing out into a new life. And what is interesting about that is that that's a reality sandwich of a divinely evolved level. So is that. and you're bracketed with your weather report in your stadium for the month of April between these necessary steps that you will take, that you'll take them if you want to. It's a matter of choice. But if you're confronted with this kind of energy, I mean, yep, Yang can be a little bit crafty about it and kind of like, yeah, I nailed that one. And Yin can be, you know what? I've got only a few more steps to take, and I am there, and I am going to dump this pile of logs that I've been carrying around. Sure. All of that has a certain energy to it, and it's a very progressive energy. And then try sewing that and weaving that together with the fact that you might not have had a choice because you wanted to grow. And somewhere along the line, you let the universe know that you were prepared to take the steps important for your evolution. And the wheel turns. I wish you well, Gemini. It is dynamic to a fare thee well for you in April. I'll be back next month and I'll see you then. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, be well and love y'all. Bye for now.